Fucking awesome.
Hello, everybody. Hello and welcome. Guys, please like and share as a comment. Hello, everybody. Just giving you guys time for others to join us. So, like and share. This is going to be a very quick live stream, guys. Very, very quick. Maybe about half an hour. So, hello and welcome, everybody. My name is Wemimo, and also known as Start105 and also known as TM5 Kanduko. If you're new to my channel, welcome. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for always coming back. So, obviously, I've been selling Scotland to almost everybody that I've come across, or maybe if you've just come across my channel, you would know I've pretty much been selling Scotland to everybody. So it's not surprising to me that when the UK's Prime Minister Keir Starmer, when he released that white paper and basically concentrating on immigration, something in me, or maybe something in me, kind of like the Scottish people are not, or the Scottish government might kick against this. I was actually thinking obviously to myself, but I don't know what other people thought about it. So, and I was not surprised when I saw a video where there was a debate, like, Scotland, the people of Scotland, I mean, people make Scotland, which means that Scotland is pretty much open to everybody and anybody. Okay. And one of the arguments why the Scottish government is not agreeing with that white paper and all of these shenanigans about immigrants, with this 10 years for indefinite leave to remain, with this post-study visa from 18 months, from 20 months now to 18 months, and to English tests to be done by dependents. Like I said, English tests, I don't think they will require children or dependents underage to write that test. Welcome Fashion with Lifestyle Fashion, welcome Faith. So obviously with all of the new latest released by the UK government on immigration, and also so far I think I did a live stream that I'm yet to see how they intend to stop those people who travel via the boats. People who travel. Happy Sunday, everybody. I've not seen anything where they were discussing how they were going to stop people from, I mean, people who were traveling via the boat into the UK, because a lot of people are using that channel, and we can't like know the kind of people who use that channel the most. Like if a Nigerian is coming to the diaspora, I don't think I've ever seen any Nigerian traveling by boat to the UK before. You have to travel via the legal routes, even though we come with different lots of visas. So, and like I said, I've always sold Scotland to people around me. Like even till tomorrow, people will still contact me. Oh, that Mama 5, I watched your video. And yes, I've done a few videos as to know, what, why I prefer Scotland, why Scotland is different, why I'd rather live in Scotland than live in London. Because I've always said London is just like an extension of Isaleko. London is just like an extension of Oshodi. Don't get me wrong, there are some expensive, affluent areas in London, okay? And it's very expensive. And even with that, there are some affluent area in Scotland as well. So don't get me wrong on that. But if you enter London today and you enter Scotland today, there's a massive difference. Like, let's start from the train station. If you enter Euston Station, or was I Glory Chama, welcome, my sister. If you, let's say for example, Euston is a very, very popular train station in London. If you enter Euston Station and you enter Glasgow Central Station, just compare the two. You can tell the difference that you coming into Scotland, you're coming to a country, like a city that will give you peace of mind, that will give you happiness. And I would say for the first settlers, I would imagine maybe I don't know what category I want to categorize myself as part of the people who James Creedy welcome my beautiful sister. I can't say I'm the third or fourth generation of Africans in that do that are settled in Scotland. But like I said, guys, I've been in Scotland for 20 years and I don't see me living anywhere else. I've made several attempts to move out of Scotland, but at the last minute, I just dropped back my bag and say no, because Scotland like is cheap in terms of accommodation. The life down here is different. Like it's everything about Scotland is different as compared to London. So obviously, when this immigration white paper came out with all of these things that they want to do, and don't get me wrong, once they go on to sign all of these things in, I don't know how the Scottish government will be able to kick back on this, but right now they're already kicking back. Okay, they are already kicking back. And I've always said it, like, there are videos on my channel where I have encouraged people to come to Scotland. If you want to get settled quicker, if you want to get your settlement quickly, Scotland is the best place for you. I've always said this for years. I've always said it, regardless of how you've came here. Scotland is the best place for you to come, especially if you're a family with young children. Scotland is cheap to live in. Transport is like now children travel free on the bus, like they have free bus pass. Accommodation is cheap if you're renting locally from your local housing association. And there are jobs everywhere. Like I've always said, if you're not picky, if you're not choosy about the kind of job you want to do, you'll find a job. You will find a job in Scotland. I'm telling you, you'll find a job in Scotland. And also, yeah, maybe one of the things that we don't get a lot. Now we even have lots of African shop here now. Yes, maybe there's not a lot of African nightlife. When I say African nightlife, there's not a lot of maybe like bars, restaurant, but they are now starting to open. I think there's a new one that opened recently. I've not been there, but I was thinking of going there on my birthday with my daughter. It's called Inish. Is it Inish? EINISH. It's just newly opened, and I think they have bars and they get DJs. So I've never been there. So I'm thinking of going there on my birthday, which is named last Sunday in this month. So Scotland is still a developing country. So I was not surprised when there was a video from a debate whereby it says that the UK government are just doing their own thing, or that they better exclude them from whatever it is they are planning in terms of immigration, because Scotland is underpopulated. The population in Scotland is not where they want it to be. Yes, Gloria Chama, yeah, it's a lot, but obviously it has not been passed yet. So there's a lot of things that needs to be done, consultation, blah 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 blah. Most of this thing will probably not be finalized until towards the end of the year, if I'm not mistaken. It will not be finalized towards the end. It won't be until towards the end of the year. But already, I know Nigerians, when things like this happen, our Nigerian people, we always take it personal, as if they are targeting Nigerians. But this thing is not only impacting Nigeria, it's impacting pretty much everybody and anyone who's been traveling to the UK on this care worker visa and all of this post-study and things like that, or as an international student or so. And I think the three set of people that have been excluded in all of this are the nurses, engineers, and people in the construction, nurses, consultants, and I think engineers or something. But yeah, so far they've released the white paper, but most of them will not be implemented until towards the end of the year. However, Scottish government are already saying, you guys are talking shite. Like the Labour Party, Conservative, all of you are talking shite. Nigel Farage, you're talking shite, allegedly. So I'm going to share my screen with you. But then, with that being said, I'm still going to encourage whoever wants to move to Scotland to move to Scotland. However, you need to plan in advance. And why am I saying this? I'm saying this because somebody dropped a comment on one of my videos to say, oh, she's just relocated to Scotland and she's been staying in an hotel, that she needed an accommodation, blah, blah, blah. I don't know if you, on any of my previous videos, I was actually advocating that if anybody has a flat or I needed, I'm trying to get an accommodation for somebody. So also, once you are trying to make that move, don't tell lies. Okay, so this person dropped a comment for me and I tried to find them and reach out, because maybe that person dropped that message. I started reaching out to people that I know who have a flat or who are agents, might be able to help them get an accommodation. I started reaching out to them. In fact, by the end of the day, I already had like 3 contacts for her to contact to see if they have any accommodation. So we got talking, and then she was like, oh, she's got 2 kids, special needs and stuff like that. She needs an accommodation, that she's been staying in a hotel. If I hear her correctly, I think she said to me that she's been staying in a hotel for a month. And I was like, oh, you've been staying in an hotel for a month. That's going to be expensive. In fact, I actually thought maybe she was jackpot. She was a jackpot person. That was what I thought. But along the line, I found out that she was not a jackpot person. She had just left another city to come to Scotland. So she's been staying in an hotel. So I was already working with her to, like, speak to people who have accommodation, agencies who can, private let, because if you're going to move from England to Scotland, you will not get a local housing association. You will not get a property with them. For you to get a proper accommodation, you probably will have been here for like maybe 3 years, been living here 3 years. So for her, she's only been here, according to her, she told me she's been here for a month, but later on down the line, I found out that she's only been here for a week. And this person that is already living in England, somewhere in England, has her own accommodation in England, but she's voluntarily left her accommodation where she was before to come to Scotland due to so many various reasons. So along the line, I found out that she lied to me. And guys, so this is why at times I'm very, very skeptical about reaching out to people or even giving people my contact at times, when, in as much as I want to offer help, I need you to be transparent with me, because with you being transparent with me, that will determine the level of how I go further with you. So I found out along that she lied to me. So I was already contacting people who have accommodation, and I gave her the details of this people that contact them first thing Monday morning, blah, 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 blah. And then she did, apparently, she went out and she met somebody at the supermarket, and this person was like, go to the council will give you house. Like I said, gone are the days where you leave whatever town and come here. Before, only if you are fleeing ABUSE. If it is maybe a relationship broke down and you are not safe in that city and you decide to move in the last minute, gone like this, when council will put you in a temporary accommodation, and then they will source an accommodation for you. But now, if we like, even if there's signs that you've been ABUSE and all of that, the local council will not give you any accommodation. They either put you in an hostel, which is not always the best. You're either sharing toilet and stuff with other people from various places with children. So, like I said, I found along the line that she lied to me, because I was working, Purpose Woman Welcome, I was working towards her renting privately, because I already said to her that, come, you will not get an accommodation with the local housing association, because at the end of the day, you already have your own flat where you're coming, you have your accommodation from the city you've moved. Nothing changed you from where you were, except, like I said, those example that I cited, if you are maybe running from ABUSE or relationship breakdown and you're not safe, that would be a different case. And obviously there will be a lot of process to that, police report and stuff like that. So she was now, I was so obviously I was at work, and this person was blowing my phone, and I said to her that, like, she called my phone about 4 to 5 times, and I said to her that I can't talk right now, send me a message. And she was like, oh, it's urgent. She kept calling me, it's urgent. So I had to leave what I was doing to call her, and she was like, the thing is this, so that she was asked she was asked for the details of the friend she was staying with. And I was like, what do you mean? So apparently the person she met when she went to the supermarket told her to go and apply via the social housing. So the lie she gave the social housing was that she has been staying with her friend in Scotland for a few months or for some time. And this her friend is now telling her that she should move out. So now the council are now asking her for the details of that friend that has been scotting her. I hope you guys understand what I'm saying. So obviously she told the housing association that she applied to, that her friend, she has been staying with her friend in Scotland for some time, and that so she's needing accommodation from the social housing. So social housing are now asking her that, okay, we need the contact details of this your friend. Exactly, Glory Chioma. They need the contact of this your friend. See, if I knew that was lane she was going, I would have told her how to go about it. But we're getting somewhere. So the social housing asked her to bring the details. They needed the details of the person who has been, squatting her, harboring her in her house, in her flat. The details of that person, their name, phone number, because they want to contact them. And yes, that's what they will do, because we've done it for somebody before. And when I say I've done it for somebody before, it's because we know that person. So now it hit her like a shock. Welcome, a nice expression. Welcome, Vivian V. So it now hit her like a shock, because obviously she's already lied to them that her friend was. So she has gone by the advice that the woman she met at the supermarket gave her. That, oh, just tell them that a friend was scotting you. You are staying with a friend. They will know. They will give you accommodation. So she went by that person's advice. Meanwhile, I'm busy calling people, agent, accommodation, house. Not know that she was planning something behind, and that's fine. That's her choice, because at the end of the day, she told me that, oh, she can afford any accommodation as long as it's beautiful, it's a clean house, blah blah blah, house, blah blah blah. She can afford it, whatever amount is going on. I'm like, okay. So when I heard that from her, I was like, oh, that gingered me to help her start finding out agents, and I was giving her the details. So she was not blowing my phone, and because of what the housing association asked her, so she was now telling me that, oh, what should she do now? Apparently, when she was blowing my phone saying that it was an emergency, she was expecting me to give her my details, even though she did not ask. But that was what she was expecting me to do. It's an emergency. They said that I should give them the details of the person that escorted me. And I'm like, okay, did I escort you? I only saw your comment under my video. And then I decided to reach out to you, find you on Instagram. So you're not calling now. They said that I should bring they want the details of the person that has been escorting me. And I'm like, boss, excuse me, that was not what you've been discussing with me. That was why I said she lied. I discharged her. That's one thing about me. If I'm trying to help you, and that I think we all make that mistake as well. If you are seeking help and you are lying, you only get help or advice based on the lies that you've told. But if you come out with the way things are, you will receive advice based on the way things are with you. So she came to me as, somebody, it was down the lane that she's not telling me that, she has a flat in where she has her own accommodation, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, okay, you've gone to the council now. They will find out if you already have an accommodation where you left. They will want to find out, what happened for you to leave your accommodation. Like, let's say you are moving from London to Glasgow. Why did you leave your place in London? What happened? Did you have a problem with landlord? What happened? All of these are the things that council will investigate. And she claims to have been here for a very long time. She claims to have been living in the UK for I don't know for how long. So she calling me and what will I do? I'm like, come, I can't advise you because at the end of the day, you threw away my own help and you went to go use the advice of somebody you randomly met. You chose to go with the advice of the person you randomly met. Go and meet council. Council will give you accommodation. She was like, maybe she should call the person that gave her the advice. I'm like, well, it's your choice. Not me give you the advice. So the person that gave you the advice should be willing to give you their own information. By the way, and I was like, I've only just seen your message. I've only been known you for 3 days. You are now calling me and you're expecting me to give you my personal details as your friend who has escorted you or who you're escorting with. I'm like, hell no, I'm not doing that. I just knew straight away that was what she was wanting. She did not ask me, but that was for the fact that she was like, emergency, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I said to her, I'm sorry that you shouldn't have lied. You should have just, my help to you was, this is agent. Private rent is how you can go about it, especially if you are living your own accommodation, because your flat is still, whatever accommodation you have where you came from, is still there. They still believe you're living there. So you're not claiming that your friend scotted you. I'm like, who's your friend? Why did you lie? So if you're thinking of moving, because obviously Scotland is where people are rushing to now. Exactly. Instead of to take my advice, she did it then. Exactly. She didn't take it, and now she's not coming to me, especially like, okay, and now my details will take my. I'm like, hell no, I'm not doing that. If I'm going to do it, I'm going to charge you for it. I'm sorry, because you were not taking my advice. So I thought that since then I've refused to communicate with her anymore. I hate when I'm trying to help people, you're not being truthful with me, and I find along the line that you're lying, I will just cut you off. And that's what I've done. In fact, I'm going to block her after I finish this live stream because you lied and that's it, no more. So my advice to you, because I know people are going to start coming to Scotland now because yes, the Scottish government are kicking against this white paper. Please plan in advance and don't think that if you come here because you have 20 children that they'll give you accommodation. You're on your own. You are on your own because you end up sleeping under the bridge. Like I said, gone are the days when people will intentionally declare themselves homeless. And yes, council will give them temporary accommodation. It might not be the best of what you want, but it will be comfortable. Now, it's not such is not available anymore. If you declare yourself homeless, you'll be placed in a temporary, like a shelter accommodation, where you are sharing bathroom, toilet, kitchen. That is where they are going to put you, regardless of how many children you have. So if you're planning on relocating to Scotland, please plan ahead. You can only be able to get private rent. And I'll still say that private rent is practically cheaper in Scotland as compared to other. You can still get a 3-bed private land for about maybe 1,400. Yes, it's expensive as compared to if you're renting from a local housing association. A local housing association, 3-bedroom, I'm still renting. 3-bedroom, I pay less than, I think maybe just short of £500 for 3-bedroom. And that's because the rent has just suddenly gone up as well. But if you're renting privately, obviously it's going to be a house. You're going to have a front garden, back garden. You're going to have a driveway. You pay for the benefits of, you pay for the enjoyment of renting a house where, you have everything. So be prepared to rent privately. And if you can afford to buy, all the best as well, that's good. But if you think that you can just carry your bag and expect them to give you a commission, I'm sorry, it will not happen. So this advice is coming from someone who has been here for 20 years. At least I might not know everything, but that alone, I'm sure about it. Even if you have even if you have special needs child, even that will not make them, because they will tell you that what happened, why did you leave where you were coming from? So I have a plan. This is even jackpot within the UK now. So plan ahead. If you're considering moving to Scotland, I've said it several times. There are videos on my channel where I've encouraged people to move to Scotland. Scotland is relatively cheaper, affordable. Yes, some people might say, oh, they don't like the accent. Me, I don't speak Scottish accent. Even though I've been here for how many years, I do not speak. I don't have, well, maybe at time when I'm speaking, some of them will say, oh, yeah, I've got an accent, but I've got an accent because I be African, I be Nigerian. I don't speak Scottish, and I've seen some Nigerian children born here. If they are speaking, you think that a Scottish boy they speak, but by the time you turn and see the person speaking, you're like, oh, is that the boy? Yeah, and that's the same with my children. In my own case, my children, they switch their tongues a lot. Once they leave home, they are speaking, Scottish straight away. Once they get back home, their tongue switches again and they're speaking just like me. I don't know how they're able to do that, but me, I can't do that. So with that being said, let me share my screen and let's play that video of the debates that the Scottish government are not agreeing with all this white immigration paper. Okay. So this is a post. Obviously, this was a video I found, and it's like I've always said that Scotland often says that people make Scotland. Yes, people believe that. Yeah, if you go and Google now, you'll find information on that on the population of Scotland. The population of Scotland is not where they want it to be. Scotland is relatively still developing. So the Scottish government do not think that they still want more people to come in. If you come into Glasgow now, you see the slogan, people make Scotland. Scotland open their hands for everybody. That's why some people, when they come to chop Adru, all of them are running to Scotland to come and chop Adru because Adru is cheaper. Adru, if you come to chop Adru here in Scotland, they'll give you accommodation. London, if you chop Adru in London, you're on your own. You need to go and find accommodation for yourself. So let's listen to this video. And this is from the SNP, okay? And they are saying that they do not agree with all that nonsense that the UK government are saying. So let me unplug this.
And for a country with a population of 5 million people, with a long history of immigration, we value immigration and the many, many people that choose to come here and make a positive contribution. Because conference today, we say together that we wholeheartedly reject the way that immigrants are denigrated in our public discourse, and there is no place for that in Scotland.
Yes, sir. Right on. And it's the truth. It's plain the truth.
Conference, we will fight for a fair, coherent immigration system. And in this period before independence, the Labour government must work with us to devolve immigration policy or deliver a Scotland-only visa.
You guys heard that. Scotland-only visa. Yes, Scotland is trying to get independence. They are trying to, Brexit or whatever they call it. Scotland is trying to stand on its own. So Scotland is trying to get away from Ireland, Wales, blah, blah, blah. We are trying to stand on our own. And you guys heard that if they refuse to cooperate with them, maybe Scotland will need to stand on our own and no Scotland only visa. Scotland needs the people. So Scotland will issue visa to people that are willing to come to Scotland. That is what the UK government, with all of this new white paper thing, they still have Scotland to contend with. They still have Scotland to contend with. And just like this lady is saying here, that's what's going to happen. If you're not going to plan with us, if you're not going to involve us in whatever you're doing, we'll be ready. Because Scotland is going to start issuing their own visas away, So that's that. And this is my comment here. Obviously, I wrote that. And if you're planning to relocate to Scotland, because search and find accommodation in advance because it's tight finding one. And the best way to secure an accommodation is rent privately or buy if you can afford it. Coming from a Nigerian Glasgow. So that was a comment I dropped in that video. And other people, they dropped their comment as well, saying, what, they've been here. This is another person that says, this is my 5th year in Edinburgh, Scotland. Scotland is actually very peaceful and homely to immigrants. I've been saying this in all of my videos. If you go to my channel, you'll find videos of me saying, I would rather live I will never live anywhere else if not Scotland. Apparently, I'm considering Australia now because I was looking at the news. I mean, I was doing my own research earlier on, and I was looking at the salary that they pay nurses in Australia, and I was like, what? $70,000 per annum for nurses? So don't be surprised if I tell you that I'm packing my bags and I'm going to Australia. You heard it here first. So this person said the Scots are very lovable and accommodating people. Don't get me wrong, oh. In the videos I've done, I've also shared our experience of racism as well. Me, myself, I have not been racially abused, but it's happened to one of my children before. And trust me, like the mama bear that I am, I dealt with it. Like I went head in and I dealt with it, not violently, but with the law. That was how I dealt with it. Okay. So the Scots are very lovable and accommodating people, nice and kind. That's why I love it here and have no regrets at all. They're always ready to strike off a wee chat, even at the bus stop under the train. Absolutely correct. And somebody said, Scotland is Yabai. If you want pack your bag, but plan in advance, okay? So people are already here saying no. Scotland, yeah, Ebami was COS. With that being said, I joined a group where they've been sharing links of jobs with COS. I think I need to just ask them to send me updated. So this person is a group that I joined, so one of our Nigerians here. He was a lawyer in Nigeria, but he's here working as well. So he has a group where like he gives like a charity group. So I think I'm going to ask him to add me to the group where he shares all of these details of jobs that offer COS. So that way I can bring it out here and obviously share with you guys as well. But I'll see if I can find that. And this person said that's why I love this Scotland, JJ. And I know a few people who have actually decided to come live in Glasgow because of me, through me, because of me. They watched my video. Two of my colleagues at work, they were like, "Oh, that mom of five, I was just finishing work that day." Somebody called me, that mom of five. I'm like, "Please, Obiko, who sabi me as that mom of five for this work?" And then I turned and they were like, "Oh, I watched your video and your video helped me decide where I wanted to go and I decided to come to Scotland." That was two of them. And since then, all of his other colleagues in his department, anytime they see me, they will stop me and have a chat with me. So that's the kind of good work I want to be known for. That's the kind of good work I love doing. So Scotland is happy for you guys to come in. You know, Scotland are not discriminating against anybody. As long as you're going to come in here, put in your own best foot forward. Don't sit on the door. Okay, don't come and sit on benefit. I mean, if you're already set, if you already have your indefinite leave to remain, don't come and sit on your benefit, because at the end of the day, in that video, they are still talking about people who are willing and ready to contribute. If you know you're not willing to contribute, just sit down wherever you are. If you know that you want to come and make benefit what you're going to live on, then sit down wherever you are, because of what use are you to the community or to the country where you've migrated to, and you're not contributing to the community. You're not contributing to the society. Of what use are you? Vivian said, last night I was watching Sky News at 12. There was a Sky News lady who said the Brits are not happy because the black and browns, especially from Nigeria, are taking their jobs. Make it make sense. How are they taking their jobs? It's not as if we went to go and pick this job. It's not as if we went to go and do bend down, select, and pick this job. You have to apply just like everybody else. And you need to put, like I've always said to you guys in my videos as well, that the kind of job you want might be competitive, okay? And if it is what you really want, if that job is what you really want, you need to do your best and strive for it. That video on my channel has almost 60,000 views. If I find it, I'll put it in the community for you guys so you can go and watch it. There's no boy that's watched that video that has not said, "Oh, that man 5 years, you're saying the truth, I'm coming to Scotland." Like I said, there's no job you apply for that has no competition. Any job whatsoever are competitive in the UK, because that nursing job that you're applying for, you don't know how many thousand people are applying for it. And at the end of the day, you have to get interviewed, you have to be selected through the selection process, you have to still bring up your paperwork. Somebody who has committed crime, gone to jail, why would you expect an employer to recruit you when there's somebody who has never been to jail, who has a clean record? Like, make it make sense. Make it make sense. So somebody now, there was a video I saw. One of them was like, "Hey, they take all of our jobs. I've not been able to find a job, blah, 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 blah." And I remember the reporter asking him, "How long were you out of work?" He said it's been 5 years now. And he was like, "What have you been doing then?" He said he was in jail. You heard, he was out of jail for 5 years. And what in that 5 years that you've been out of jail, what were you doing? He was in jail. So you came out of jail. Tell me who will recruit you. Tell me who will recruit you. That's why I see it's so sad when I see some young African men who come here and they're chasing small pikin. They're chasing small pikin to go and kill with. That's why it's so sad at times to see some African men who you think that they should be putting, they have the potential, they should be putting their best foot forward, but they're putting their backside on the chair. So this job is not bend down select. Browns, black, we've not go to Oshodu market to go and bend down and pick the jobs. We are applying just like everybody else. And then you have to be selected via the selection process to get that job. So if you're not applying, you're not going to get the job. So the unborn children or the unborn I think there's a better word for describing the people who are born and bred here, home student or home residents. You can also apply as well, but then, like I said, if you have a criminal record, tell me what employer is going to employ you. Or if you have multiple, even just one, even if it's an online warning, some employer will shy away from employing you. So you now have multiple jail time, and you're expecting an employer to employ you. Come on, make it make sense. Regina, you can DM me on my Instagram. I'm sorry, I don't give my private number to people that I don't know. I'm sorry, I don't know you, so I can't give my personal number to you. But you can send me an email, or you can reach out to me via the Instagram. My Instagram name is the same I am named for my channel. Okay. Vivian says she specifically mentioned they always mention Nigerians. They always mention Nigerians because they know that Nigerians, we are smart people. We are smart people. Go to any Nigerian you see working in care. You all know how we always be going to always be the first person to come forward and say, okay, I will do this. We don't shy away from our job. Nigerians are not lazy. We are not lazy at all. And I was watching a video of a lady on TikTok actually where I think she was staying with her sister in Cumbernauld, and then I don't know for how long she's been staying there, and then she now decided to move to London, and then she showed a video of her moving into her own accommodation, which was like a beautiful house. If you go to under the comment of that video, they were like, "Oh, how is it possible that she's only been in England for 5 months and she was able to get that kind of accommodation?" And I was like, "Duh, this accommodation she has look like a private rent." And that person was like, "Oh, her mom has been in care with 2 autistic child and she's not able to get an accommodation." And you know what this girl gave her an epic clap back that tell your mom to go get a job. She'll be able to afford a private rent, because at the end of the day, this girl rented a private rent, even a 1-bedroom house private rent in London. I'm sure we're paying nothing less than almost 2 grand for it. So people are working to be able to afford the kind of life they want. But if you're not working, excuse me, do you know how many times I've contemplated going to rent a private let here? Because I've got 5 children here and I need a 6-bedroom house. And local housing associations don't build 6-bedroom house. They've never built a 6-bedroom house. So now they've left me in a 3-bed. And all of my kids are grown. So if God will have it now, I need to buy a house that's at least 5-bedroom. And to buy a 5-bedroom is not cheap. But I'm definitely considering renting privately. And I know at some point my kids are going to grow older. I mean, they're older than 21, 20, 18. They're going to want to go to their own flat. So that's why I'm not really pushing to wanting to buy a bigger accommodation. If I'm able to buy even a 4-bedroom house, I'll be happy. But then if you don't work, how are you going to be able to achieve it? You want to live the good life, but you don't want to do hard work. Like, make it make sense. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. I'm reading your comment too. Glory Choma said, okay, I already addressed this one. So I don't know why I'm not able to click this comment. So I'm trying to click on the comment, but I can't click on it. Okay, that's it. So she specifically mentioned Nigerians, then said there are people are regretting why they had Brexit for Europeans to leave. But Europeans are coming in as well. Europeans are coming in. So they don't have an issue with Europeans coming in, but they have issues with Nigerians and blacks and browns taking their jobs. Some of them are just dead lazy. That's just it. And like I said, some of them are like, it's because the pay is they don't pay enough. That's why they're not doing the job. Well, blacks and browns that are coming in don't have a problem doing the job. Because like I said before, if I convert my monthly salary here to Nigerian currency, it's like over 5.5 million naira. So if I decide to come to Nigeria now, what hospital will employ me as a nurse and pay me 5.5 million naira every month in Nigeria? What hospital? I'm sorry. Vivian said that when I turned off the TV and went to sleep. Stuff like that, I know they take long at all. I just move on to the next one. Glory Chama said, I need to come to Scotland though. You're welcome. Just make sure you plan, source your accommodation source your accommodation beforehand to make sure that you're not going to depend on somebody who's going to be standing for you. So yeah. Vivian V said, I've visited Scotland twice for all this, and the Scots were really lovely. Yeah, like I said, most of the part, Scottish people are lovely, and I'm a Scots woman. So I'm sure you can tell that I'm a lovely person. So yeah, Scots people are generally nice people. They are welcoming. They'll go to see, just tell them that you don't know where you are going. 20 of them will try to get you to where you are going. That's just how good Scots are. Don't get me wrong, that some people, just a fraction who are like, Akuri, but majority of Scots people, they are really, really lovely people. Abosede said, good morning, my sir. Thank you for the good work. Arsenal Association can also help with accommodation. They can help, and that's private. Like I said, if you've left let's say you used to live in Leicester, and all of a sudden you have an accommodation that you are living in Leicester, and all of a sudden you pack your bags and you come to Glasgow. Why did you leave your accommodation in Leicester? Are you fleeing abuse? Are you fleeing relationship breakdown? Or is your life not safe? And if you're going to go to housing, local housing with such, you need to showcase paperwork, evidence of you fleeing ABUSE, social work services involved with you. But if you don't have any proof and you're coming like that, they will leave you, or they will probably advise you to go rent privately. Because do you know how many people are on the waiting list trying to get a local housing association? Even me that I'm talking here, do you know how long I've been waiting on social housing for 4-bedroom house? I've been waiting on social housing wait list for 7.5 years for 4-bedroom house. It never reached my turn. So, like I said, if you're moving from city to city, let's say you're moving from Leicester and you've decided to come down here, why? Because they will tell you that you've intentionally made yourself homeless. If you don't have any major reason for leaving your accommodation in Leicester, they will tell you. And I know this because I already tried to help somebody in the past, not the story of the lady that I shared earlier on, years ago. And they said only if you have like your location then is a danger to your life or to your children. And then they don't answer straight away. They either put you in an emergency accommodation, like a temporary shelter accommodation, till they're able to find something for you. And it might not be a matter of a week, 2, 3, 4 weeks. Like I said, during when we used to have housing by council, the council will find your accommodation. Now, local association will tell you that they don't have anything. They might be able to help you with. I think there's a certain firm in Glasgow that deals with homelessness. I can't remember their name anymore now. They were quite popular a few years ago. I don't know if they're still doing that part of their job, but now they'll either put you in temporary accommodation or a shelter or even an hotel temporarily till they find something for you. That is, if you have tangible reason for leaving your tenancy where you've moved from. But if nothing is chasing you from where you've moved from Leicester, and you decide to come here to come out, they'll just look at you, tell you to go back to the flat you left or your accommodation that you left. They'll tell you to go back. And Vivian said they are taking care jobs now. I left comment of Brits crying they can't find jobs, asking what's the problem. Care jobs are now available. Fruit picking, bean collection. There's lots of jobs. That's why I said that even if you're in Nigeria that's coming here, I even want extra jobs. If you're not picky, if you're not like, oh, I don't want that kind of a job, because I've seen some Nigerians who say, oh, me, it was in the master's older. I can't work in care. I can't do this, but forgetting that there are lots of people with master's degree here in this country who are also trying to get the job you are coming for. And that's why I always say to people that don't think because you are a master's holder or you are a PhD holder, you intend to come here and get a master's holder's job. It's not going to happen. Some people might be lucky to have such, but you need to start from somewhere. As long as that job that you started from is covering some or all of your bills, and then you can move up. But if you come here now from Nigeria today and you say, oh no, I want an accounting job with KPMG, you're on your own. I'm not saying it's not possible, but you're going to have to get, unfortunately, you've not been selected. Unfortunately, your application has not been blah, blah, blah. So I hope I cleared myself there. Olusegun said that Vivian Vidal lady is a pro-EU person trying to use that excuse for the UK to re-enter the EU. A lot of non-EU people voted out because when UK agreed that people in the EU to come to work in the UK. I know there was a long debate about that, but as it is, Scotland has always been looking for a way to get, to separate from the UK anyway. Scotland has been trying so hard. Is it a referendum? Yeah, Scotland has been trying to get a referendum for some time now. And trust me, they will not relent until they get it. Scotland is not going to relent until they get it. Even with the way white people are thinking that they are releasing now. Scotland, they will not relent until they get it. That's certain. Even the people from the EU, some of them are not staying. Oshiagun said the guys from the EU started discriminating non-EU people, that is people from outside UK colonized. I know. So, like I said, UK, Scotland, they're not going to relent until they get out. And me, I can't wait. Because if you go to Scotland, if you go to London from here and you take Scottish pounds, they don't accept Scottish pounds in England. And it's the same value. It is the same value just because it has whatever. I don't even know that stupid excuse. If you go to London today from Scotland and you take Scottish note, you take a Scottish £20 to London. If you try to spend it, they don't accept it. They won't accept it. There was a time years ago I went to Liverpool and I had £20. I took a taxi and I tried to pay the taxi with the £20. He told me he's not collecting that. It's a Scottish pound that he doesn't want. So I'm like, but it's pounds. It's an equivalent. It's the same equivalent to whatever London English pounds. The taxi man say he would not collect. And I remember then my reason for going to Liverpool was I went to the Home Office in Liverpool there for my interview then. So thankfully, I was not far away from the Home Office, the gate of the Home Office. And the officer discussed, were like, what's going on? I was like, well, I paid him and he told me that he's not going to accept the money, that it's not English pounds. And I'm like, well, I'm from Scotland. This is the money I have. And the security guy was like, that I should try and pay the taxi guy, that if you refuse the money, I'm free to go. And, around Home Office now, you see police vans patrolling. And I gave the guy, take and give me change. The taxi guy refused. Me, I jejely waka comot. And I remember I was pregnant with my son, my first son there. The taxi guy refused the £20 because it was a Scottish note. And I was like, I don't understand. Even till tomorrow, if you are traveling from Scotland, take money from here to London and try to spend it. You will see the way they will scrutinize that money before. Some will collect, but majority of them will not collect Scottish pound from you. They will not. Mobila said, it is true. You have to bid for, exactly, you have to bid for housing. And Vivian said, Olisha, did you watch it too? It irritated me to the bone. That's how they program people's minds that all migrants are their problems, avoiding social economic problems. And like I said, now they don't even, all this homeborn, some of these homeborn people, they don't make it, they don't even hide it anymore. Because like I said, if they can, some of them are getting up to over £2,000 a month as benefits. So if they can get that without moving a pencil or without even mopping a floor, why would they want to go and work? Why would they want to go and work? You know the answer. Amobosla said, even people who used to live in London have moved outside because of exactly high cost of living. I would not say high cost of living. Food is expensive everywhere, but affordability here in Glasgow, houses are relatively cheap. Even private rent is cheap. Like if I go, let me see if I can go to Rightmove. I will share my page. I will share my screen with you just to have an idea of what a normal 3-bedroom would look like. So I'm going to share my screen with you now so we can do this together. It's just to give you an idea, even if you decide to rent privately. Rightmove. So normally Rightmove is one of the places I know. I will encourage that if you're trying to live from accommodation, try and go through Rightmove. I hope you guys can see my screen. Okay, you guys, it's just loading. So Rightmove, here it is. So let's say Glasgow. Let me use a postcode. Let me say Glasgow West to rent. So any property, let's say houses, anytime. So I'm going to leave the price range. I'll put about between 2 and 3 bedroom. It's just to have an idea of what it costs to obviously to rent privately here. So you guys see here, this is a semi-detached 3-bedroom in Annisland, and it's £1,300 per month for 3-bedroom. And I understand some landlord will ask, some of these private landlord will ask you for like maybe 3-month deposits, and they ask you to go and be a guarantor, to bring a guarantor. Look at this house. It's £1,300 per month. Tell me where in London you will get a 3-bedroom house at this price. Those of you that are living in London, tell me where in London you can rent a 3-bedroom house at this amount. £1,300 deposit. So they are not even asking for much. Deposit £1,500. Furnished type, it is furnished. So you are just carrying your suitcase and entering the house because everything is in the house for you. So it says here that look at the house. That's the living room there. Living room. It says it's furnished. Dining area. One of the bedrooms. Look at that. £1,300 for your house. You have your front garden. You have your back garden as well. And I can't remember what the outside looks like now. Outside, you probably have to park on the street, but tell me where in London. Jaron said you can't get this in London. See? £1,300 for a 3-bedroom house. So, and some people, they would rather stay there, they would rather live in London and be paying almost £2,000 for. This is another one again. Houses are even renting privately. Houses are relatively cheap in Glasgow. So this is another 3-bedroom. Is it 3-bedroom? Yeah, it's 3-bedroom terraced house. £1,350 per month. That's what the front of the house looks like. Look at it. That's the front of the house. That's one of the. I don't know if that's one of. That's the kitchen. Look at it. 1,350. Tell me in London, where in London, or even outside of London, that you get this type of house for £1,350 per month, and they're only asking for the same amount as deposit as well. So apparently, I don't know. Depends on who you are or the kind of job you have. They might be asking for maybe 3-month deposits, and some of them they will even ask you to go and bring somebody who's a resident to as a guarantor for you. I don't know. I've never rented privately before, but I've stepped in for people, to say, okay, I'll be their guarantor, blah 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 blah. But look at this, is cheap. And like I said, if you're planning on moving, please make sure you find an accommodation ahead before you make that move. Plan ahead before you make that move. Don't come here and start looking for accommodation, because people also have their own lives. They will not be helping you to look for accommodation everywhere. Look how neat this house is. I wish it's a 4-bedroom. If it was a 4-bedroom, I will apply for this house. If this house was a 4-bedroom, I will apply for it. Look at how neat and beautiful it is. Those are the rooms I'm showing you guys here. That's the back garden. Back garden. Now you can sit down. Put a canopy there. Look at the back. And some people say they want to die and get hold in London. Eh? Look at that. So me, I don't talk my own. I don't talk my own, but like I said, it's good to plan ahead. Okay, guys, I'm going to read your comments, and I plan to be here for an hour. Okay, I don't want to be here for a very long time. So, Glory Choma, there are not different currencies. So it's just obviously because we are in Scotland. It's still the same Bank of England. We are just like they have Bank of England. We have Bank of Scotland, and the notes, I don't even know the difference, but they are the same value. But I don't know what their problem is, to be honest. Vivian is just replying, they are different, but it's a legal tender. I don't know why they don't want to accept it. That day, me, I work out, it gave me free ride from the train station to my appointments. Chukwu Emeka is asking, how do I apply to a caregiver job from Nigeria? I don't know if you are, I don't know, I think you are too late to that, but if you go on, let me drop a website here for you. I'll drop a website in the comment section. If you want to go to that website, there are some employers who advertise jobs there. And like I said, I'm still going to reach out to that group where they share jobs with COS. And if you want to apply for care worker now, I'm sure you know the news that just happened in the UK. They've not implemented it yet, but I don't know if they are still going to be taking care worker visa, except you are a nurse, a doctor, or an engineer. That's when you can still come in. But if you are none of these things, I don't think you should be applying. So I hope I made that clear. Jaron said you can't get that in accommodation. Exactly. Omobosla said, even in London, just to rent a room, £800. See? Because you want to live in London, £800 for your room. The purpose woman said, I honestly think quite a lot of people live in London. Exactly. I was just about to say that just because they want to live in London. Apart from those who have genuine work prospectus, it's a different case if you are maybe working a graduate role, you have a professional job where you are getting like maybe over 150,000 per annum. But if you are earning like 40-something thousand pounds per annum and you are living in London, you are on your own. You are on your own. You're on your home. So Chukwuemeka, that's the link of the website. So if you go onto Google and type in www.gov.uk and maybe just say care jobs with COS, I don't know. Obviously, with these new changes in immigration, I don't know if they're still going to be recruiting or not. But you can try your luck. So that's that. Okay. And I was going to share the page of Kestama as well, because our uncle has been dropping stuff. He's been dropping stuff. Let me share his Facebook page. I'm rounding up in about 10 minutes. Guys, please like this live stream. There's 46 of you watching, and I only have 7 likes. Now, what for you guys? Oh, you guys like free information, but you don't like to appreciate the person that is giving you the free information. So this is Keir Starmer's Facebook page, and yes, it's been dropping up this. It says that if you work here illegally, also a reminder, there's going to be lots of stop and search, and there's going to be lots of deportations. So if you know your immigration status is legbe, be careful how you work. Okay. So it says here that if you work here illegally or employ people who do, we are coming for you. Illegal working rates are up 40%, and we won't stop there. So that's him telling you guys that all of you that are working at barely back door and you're doing cash at hand, they're going to start raiding places like that. And yes, with that being done, there's going to be loads of deportation. Loads of deportation. I'm sure I was reading it through a post on his page where it said about maybe a certain percentage of people have been deported already this year alone. Peter said, I'm coming for my MSc in oil and gas engineering, University of Aberdeen. I'm like, oh, well done. Aberdeen is I've never been to Aberdeen before, but Aberdeen is a beautiful city. Now the people where they get money, they are the people where get oil money, they live there. And yes, lots of Nigerian expats actually live in Aberdeen and Dundee as well. So well done to you. I hope you enjoy your stay there as well. It says here that strengthen our borders, cut bills, boost jobs. In the last 2 weeks, I've secured trade deals with India and the US that deliver for British people, British businesses, and British jobs. Tomorrow, we'll take another step forward, our plan for change in action. Even with this thing that he's doing now, Kemi Badenoch is not happy. Kemi Badenoch saying he's doing nonsense. Kemi Badenoch said he's doing nonsense. And he continues here saying that for too long, Britain has been addicted to cheap overseas labor. While one, I mean, it's good if he says that, yeah, cheap labor. Hopefully, they will be able to pay those of us that are here already. They'll be able, like I was saying, when was the last time nurses got pay rise last year, and they still taxed us on that back pay. Now they're saying now that at least nurses should be getting pay rise every year, because teachers are getting pay rise almost every year. So nurses are not getting paid, So maybe with his plan, I will become an odogu as time goes on. I'll be able to afford my Range Rover that I want to buy with my nursing salary. Never say never. So it says that while 1 in 8 of our own young people aren't in education, so him saying that 1 in 8 of our own young people aren't in education, why are they not in education? What is the cost of them not being in education? There's lots of universities, colleges everywhere. Why are young Brits not in education, employment, or training? Why? It's not as if these people that are on 5-year visa are taking all of this, because if you're on a study visa, you're not allowed to claim any sort of benefit or any free training. You're not allowed to claim any of those things. Anything you're going to be doing at all, you're going to have to pay from your pockets. So I don't understand this talk of him. While 1 in 8 of our young people aren't in education, why are they not in education? Education is free anyway, because the UK government will pay. If you're an home student, they will pay your school fees. When I went for my nursing degree, the Scottish government paid for my school fees. When I went for my first degree as well, they paid for my school fees. This time again, they paid for my school fees and even gave me bursary as a nursing student. So I believe that if people want to work, if they want to go to school, they will apply. But if they're not applying, can you force them? Can you force them? So it says, I'm putting our young people first, investing in skills they need, and ending our dependence on foreign labor. It's been going on and on about that. It says here that foreign criminals have no right to be in Britain. And that's why I was asking that, what do they intend to do about people that are coming by boat, by sea? What are they doing? It said, we've removed over 3,500 since July. So I will imagine July of last year, 16% more than the last year of the tourists. And that's just the start. So like I said, there's going to be lots of raiding and deportation. So if you are a one leg in, one leg out, be very, very careful, okay? Be very, very careful. I'm going to read your comment, guys, and I'm going to round up. I don't know if anybody wants to come in and say one or two things. If not, I'm going to drop the link and I'll just take 2 calls. I'll take 2 calls and then we'll round up this live stream, okay? So I just came and tell you guys that no, Scotland is looking for Euro. Scotland is looking for Euro. And please, Mr. Peter, Peter, when you are coming, carry plenty dry fish. Carry plenty dry fish, plenty okporoko, and send me my own portion once you arrive. Thank you in advance. Carry plenty dry fish, dry meat, dry goat meat, dry snail, egusi, palm oil. Carry plenty double portion so that when you get here, you can send me my own. Aberdeen is not far from Glasgow. By postage, you can send me my share. For hearing sake. Because I've heard that you're coming now. For hearing sake, I must get my own portion. Right, I'm going to read your comment. The links in the comment section if anybody wants to come here and drop a couple, maybe say 1 or 2 things. But yeah, like I said, Scotland, I've always been an advocate for people with younger children to try and get started in Scotland, because it's just cheaper for you. Even if you're on a visa, it's cheaper for you. Accommodation is cheap. I mean, food, we now have lots of African shops now, but most times they all have this crazy attitude. There's food now. We are now having at least a few more African restaurants now. Yes, the nightlife here might not be like that of Peckham, might not be like that of Dunstan or something, whatever they call it. But it's life in Scotland is starting to, lots of, the community is growing. Yeah, the community is growing. That's what I would say. Yeah, people are wishing Mr. Peter congratulations there. See, we're lovely jovial people on this platform. Jaron said the interest rate on student loans is increasing. Exactly. My own, I don't even know how much I've paid, because when I look at my salary, so I was looking at it because at times I've noticed that the month that I earned a lot, any of the month that I earn a lot, they take less of my student loan. But the month that I don't earn a lot, they don't take a lot. So it doesn't make sense to me. I'm confused. So here, for my wage for March, my before deduction was £3,080. And then my student loan, they only deducted £41. So my take-home pay was £2,268, and they only deducted £41 for my student loan in March. And here, in the month of April, my take-home pay was £2,156, and they deducted £13. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. So in March, they deducted £41. In April, they deducted £13. I don't understand. I don't understand. And then in January of this year, my take-home pay was £2,185, and they deducted £29. So Koyemi, now them sabi how they are deducting it, but anyway, as long as I'm working, I'll keep paying it. Welcome, Cindy Emmanuel. So we have somebody here. You're welcome. Unmute yourself, and you have a talking time of 3 minutes.
Hello, my sister.
Good afternoon.
Am I doing? What am I doing that is wrong? Because I can hear myself again.
I can hear you. So normally, if you are watching me from a device, you need to mute the device you are watching me from so that you won't be hearing yourself back.
Okay, I will mute now.
We can hear you clearly here, but if you mute the device you are watching from, so that way it's not, it's not going back and forth.
How is it now?
It's better now. It's better now. We can hear you now.
Okay. I'm trying to mute the device.
But you can talk now. We can hear you.
Okay. Good morning. Good afternoon, my sister. Thank you for your good job.
You are welcome, ma.
Okay. Well, now I just want to tell you about why. Okay, I'm still hearing it, but I will manage.
Okay.
Okay.
Or maybe just reduce the volume.
Okay. I just want to tell you why our youth are not, going for universities these days. Okay. Because you see, because the reason is that because you see the tuition fee has put them off. When you are talking that they're looking at the amount of debt they will have when they finish university.
I think she's still struggling with obviously hearing back from her hand.
Yes, that's the problem. I'm not enjoying this because I can still hear and I don't know what I'm doing wrong.
So are you where if you reduce the volume or turn down the volume of the device you're watching me from?
Okay.
I think that's the only way. So if you just mute the volume or maybe turn down the volume of where you are watching from, so that way, because if you're watching from an iPad or from a mobile phone, it will have taken you out of YouTube straight away.
I'm using mobile phone. How about now? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now. I can hear you now.
Okay, is it better now? Because I've reduced the volume.
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you clearly.
Oh, goodness. Okay. Okay, next time I will do better. Okay, that's what I'm saying. Because our children of nowadays, they prefer to go on apprenticeship than going to university, because some of them, because they think that by going to apprenticeship they will have, job, like they will have job to do, because once they finish the apprenticeship.
I think we are still struggling. I'm trying to look for my
There
other.
is tendency that they will have jobs. So, but because if they go to universities, sometimes they will ask them, for job experience.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that is the reason why some of them prefer to do apprenticeship rather than going to universities, where when they finish, they will still have to be paying debt. So that's one of the experience I've had with mine.
Thank you so much, man, for that contribution. I think I've done a video here before where I was talking about apprenticeship. And like I said, apprenticeship in the UK, wherever you are, is very, very competitive, because that is what most children in this country would go for. For me, as an African parent, I've never thought of it. But even when I thought about it and I said to my kids, they all said no. Like, no, they are not going for apprenticeship. Like, they want to go to uni. And I did not stop them in any way. And yes, apprenticeship is good in a way that, they are learning a career. I mean, they are learning and they are being paid. And you don't be surprised that some of them that are on apprenticeship, they're actually making more money than a graduate who is actually working the graduate role. Guys, go and Google it yourself. I'm not giving you my mind. There was a time I was saying to my son that, oh, I'm going to try and get your apprenticeship when you are in S4. He said no. He said he doesn't want apprenticeship, that he wants to go to school, finish school, and then go straight to uni, because that's practically most of our African people, that's what we want our children to do. But then we are really not looking into the side of apprenticeship. Like one of my colleagues was saying to me that our son applied for apprenticeship with, I think, was it Scottish Power, or I think it was an engineering company like that, that his salary, our own salary as a mom who has been a nurse for almost 15 years, there's only £2,000 difference in how much he's earning as an apprenticeship and her being a full-time nurse, being a nurse for 15 years. I was like, eh? So since then, I've been looking at, obviously apprenticeship, but none of my kids want. Maybe I might be able to convince my last one to go, to go through via apprenticeship. But apprenticeship, the kind of competition that is in apprenticeship, or more, you be like, you know what, let me leave these children, let them go straight to uni straight away. Hence why I'm always advocating as well that as for me, if I can avoid my children not taking the student loan while they're at uni, I will. But how much is my nursing salary? Yes, they go from home now. At least I've got two at uni just now. The third one is going to uni in September. One of them is not taking student loan, but two of them is taking student loan. If I can afford to cater to their needs so that they don't get on student loan, I will do it. Again, student loan, in a way, it could either encourage them to take the student loan and save it up for them. So that way you're keeping an eye on their spending, which means by the time they finish uni, they might just, maybe that money over the course of their years of studying, 4 years of studying, it might just be a deposit for them to get on the property ladder. So while they get on the property ladder, working, they might just rent that property out, be making money back, and from there, whatever money they make from there, they can pay their mortgage and then start to pay their rent back and start to pay their loan back. That's another way that I'm looking at it. But you all know the children of nowadays now. If they don't joke with their money. They don't freaking joke with their money. You take one penny from them, they want it right back. So there's good sides to taking student loan, and there's the other side of taking student loan. The only time where I would say the bad side of taking student loan is if the young person in question is just philandering with money, spending money anyhow. But like my son now, he takes the student loan, and every month he has an account where he saves So it gets about, I think, which is bursary and everything, gets about maybe just over £1,000 every month. And he's saving at least £750 into a separate account every month. So £750 for 10 months. How much is that? That's £7,500. If he's able to save £7,500 for 4 years, calculate that. He might be able to just have he will be able to have a deposit to even buy a 2-bedroom or a 3-bedroom flat in Glasgow. So that's another way I'm looking at it, because I was the time I went to speak to a counselor that, I don't really want my kids to take student. And they were like, no, on a good day, you can encourage them to save that money. Save it, put into a fixed deposit, or save it somewhere for them with maybe high yielding credit accounts. And then after 4 years, you can imagine if you're able to save £7,500 every year while they're at college with their loan. That's 7,500 times 4. How much is that? So that's almost £60,000. £60,000, that's way more if you're looking to buy a 4-bedroom house or a 3-bedroom house. That's deposit, and you still have more money left. So that's where I'm looking at it. But yes, if I had the chance, I would encourage my kids to go into apprenticeship, because they are learning and they are making money on the side as well. They are being paid. So yeah. Vivian B said the UK wants TikTok, OnlyFans generation to go and work in care. I laugh in Isoko. They must implement the care visa ban. Now they are already people go. Exactly. Let them go. I mean, I've started seeing posts like, oh, let all migrants go on a strike for 1 week. Some people even said 1 week is too much. Just a strike for 2 days or a strike for 24 hours. Let's see how they will cope. But I don't see the chance of that happening, because if you go on strike that 1 month, our African people like, that 1 month, how much salary I go hen. At the end of the day, I just want to say these changes also, it should be like a opening call, or like a waking episode for Africans in diaspora, that we should start we should start holding our government accountable. Because if our country was good, or if Nigeria is what we want it to be today, nobody's going to be jackpying. Nobody will be jackpying. It's high time to start saying, no, we are standing up to our government. We need you to put this into place. We need you to put this into play. But if we are not willing to do that, people will continue to jackpot. And I came across a video of a popular YouTuber here who was talking about that that everybody should return home. Everybody should return home. And this person, she's never lived in the UK. She was only here as a student. She studied here. And her husband is in Saudi Arabia. She was in Saudi Arabia, but she couldn't cope with living in Saudi Arabia, and she returned back to Nigeria. So for you to tell people to actually come back home to live in Nigeria, because you are still getting the Saudi Arabian money. Your husband is being paid in Saudi Arabian currency, and is earning a lot as compared to his counterpart in Nigeria. And then you're making money on YouTube as well. So if it was that easy, you will have stayed in Saudi Arabia now, wouldn't you? You will have stayed there. So even while you are in Nigeria now, you are still living the baby girl life, because your husband is still supporting you with the Saudi Arabia currency, as compared to people who left here to go back to Nigeria. They are not expecting any foreign currency to support them. So it's easier said for somebody who's getting support from abroad as compared to somebody who returned with no support from abroad. So going back home to Nigeria, going back home takes calculation. Okay, if you don't already have your funds, if you don't already have plans, if you don't already have focus targets, and you just enter Nigeria saying you are relocating back, you just be going from fry pan to fire. Okay, you just be going back to fry pan to fire. Like I said, we need to start, hammering on our government to make Nigeria a better place for us, so that at least the level of people that are jackpying will be able to stay. For me now, I always say that Nigeria will always be a place I want to return back to. But if I don't have millions, I won't come. I'm sorry. I will not retire to Nigeria. Yes, I want to be able to visit every year or every other year, but train ticket. I was telling you guys that I wanted to come. I'm planning. I would love to be in Nigeria for Christmas, but I want to go and look at the cost of tickets. I just need to give myself brain. Cost of tickets. I'm like, let me stay like this. And the last time I was in Nigeria was 2021, and my flight tickets, Glasgow to Heathrow to London. Heathrow to Nigeria, British Airways. I did not pay up to it was less than £700. Yes, and I stayed 2 weeks in Nigeria. Now ticket is giving me like 1,400, 1,500. Like, Lode, Nigerians Koba British Airways ni. It's almost £1,500 to come to Nigeria, return ticket. Why the massive gap from 2021 to now? Less than £700 to almost 1,700, 1,600. Like, I said, let me give myself brain. When I become a high-paying job, or when I start getting increase in my salary, I'll consider going to Nigeria often. But with that, by now, let me stay here in my Glasgow. Vivian said, my advice is if you can go to another country that's welcoming to foreign workers. Exactly. I will always advise people like that. I know they will say it's easier said than done. Yes, if you can get into another country that pays well, that treats migrants well, you can do that. But then, Vivian, which country is that? I'm sure we are not going to mention. We are not going to mention Canada. We are not going to mention the US. I was, like I said earlier, I was Googling and I saw how much nurses are being paid in Australia, but Australia is far. Australia is far. Do I want to go to Australia? I'm thinking about it because the pay is double what we get paid here. In fact, triple what we get paid here in the UK. The government is like their weather. 1 second they need foreign workers, the next they don't. Exactly, because at the end of the day, all this care worker visa now open visa. Say make people they apply and people come now. It's like you've broken a contract. You've broken the trust that these migrants have. We said they should come, they should apply to this visa route. They applied, and now you're telling them that, oh, we don't want you anymore, that you are stealing our jobs. Make it make sense. It's not as if these people have come out to come and sit down on the benefit. No, every one of them are making their money, and whatever it is they're spending is coming out of their pocket. They are not allowed public funds until they get their permanent residency. So how are they stealing? Let me not talk too much before some people will come for me. Elliot said the English government is going to do everything to stop Scotland to gain. I know. They've been trying. I mean, obviously, we are still trying to get a referendum, but they've still not been able to get it because that's where the oil comes from and arms production companies. I know they will stop them, but we'll watch. Vivian said, Burkina Faso. No, let Nigeria hear you, Vivian. Vivian said Burkina Faso is a good place to invest at the moment. Medical personnel, farming, teaching, construction, help build their country. Anyway, guys, those are options for those who might want to consider doing that. With that being said, guys, I'm going to round up this live stream. Thanks so much to everyone of you who have come here. Like I said, stop paying all of those expensive money in London. If you can find your way to Scotland, please do so. Plan in advance for your accommodation. In fact, you can even source jobs before you even come here. But with that being said, guys, I just thought I'll bring this to you guys that Scotland is home to everybody. We don't chase people away. Our door is opened. You're welcome, Glory Choma. Our door is open. Glasgow, people make Glasgow, and we Glaswegians, our hands are open. We welcome people, and when you come in, so just be nice to us as well when you come. That's pretty much how that works. Vivian said Austria, Finland, Switzerland, Scotland, other EU countries. Nigeria just need to learn the language, which can be done from Nigeria. More okay. That's true. I mean, now you will have thought I'll be able to speak French. You know how they were teaching us French in secondary school. I studied French for the first 4 years in secondary school. I studied French up until I entered SS4, SS1. But I can't speak one word in French. I can't speak one word in French. I can't speak. One of my colleagues that went to uni together just told me now that she's considering Australia. That moment 5, what have I started? We went to uni together. We qualified together. She just messaged me and said that I am considering Australia. Yeah, Scotland is part of the UK. Scotland, Highland, Wales, and then United Kingdom. I think that's the for London. Those are the things that made up. Those are the countries that made up the UK. Yeah. Guys, please like this live stream for me, please. Yes, Scotland is a part of the UK. Very much part of the UK. Yes. Very much part of the UK. But obviously, the Scottish government are not agreeing with what is happening with the white paper on immigration because Scotland has less than 5 million in population. So for Scotland is still growing. So 5 million population is nothing. So hence why the Scottish government are not agreeing with the proposition of the Conservative now without wanting white paper. We don't want immigration, blah blah blah, this that. So yeah. But then if you want soft life, don't go and be paying 2,500. Don't go and be paying £3,000 for 3-bedroom flat, for 3-bedroom house. I've just showed you guys on Rightmove. A 3-bedroom house in Glasgow, you can get it for less than £1,500. So why are you spending all of that money when you can be saving that extra cash? Anyway, guys, I'm going to leave, and thank you so much to each and every one of you who have been here. Please like, share, subscribe. If you're watching this video again, feel free to drop your thought and opinion as always. And if you look at the comment on the screen, there's a scroll. All of my social media handles are all there. Please like, follow, share. Find my side also, small side business also. I'm on TikTok as TMO5 Kanduko, and also on TikTok as Just Doing Me, where I've been sharing my weight loss journey. And with that being said, I think I'm going to schedule a live stream where I'm going to discuss my weight loss journey, how I've lost weight as well. I'm just going to do like a one live stream video so that I can answer people's comments and people answer people's questions as well. And also, if you're available, join us at 7 o'clock and let's discuss all of this jam glitch. What has been happening with jam in Nigeria? Let's all know. I'm going to come discuss all the update from when it started to what is going on right now. That is the live stream we have at 7 o'clock. So I'm going to end this live stream now, try and shut my eyes for a couple of hours, and then I'll be back again at 7 o'clock. With that being said, thank you so much, each and every one of you. I really appreciate you all for being here. And yes, by the way, don't forget to join my live. Don't forget to join my membership. And also, my birthday is on 25th of May. I am accepting gifts now. You can PayPal me. You can see my PayPal on the screen there. PayPal me. I'm accepting gifts. Okay, I'm accepting birthday gifts. Jane's Credo said, God bless you, Rego. You are doing a lot for people. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. God keep and prosper you. Amen. Amen. And you also. Akinloye said, it's even on the high side. Come to Belfast, you get 3 bed for less than 1K. You see, so that's even moving far away from even England there. So you all heard there again. Belfast is another place you should consider, but I've never lived in Belfast before. I've only lived in Glasgow, and I can only speak much more for Scotland. So if anybody wants to consider Belfast as well, please carry out your research. Okay, don't just say because we've mentioned it here and you are jumping. Carry out your research in terms of jobs, the community there. Is there a certain percentage of African community there? And all of the things you will consider before moving to a certain city. So make sure you carry out your own research. And with that being said, thank you so much, guys. And I'll see you guys at 7 o'clock tonight. All right. Bye for now.